Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Shodanandana Vrajajana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Vrajajana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Karirabhakshaya Astottara Satashishi Madhi's Divine Grace Aboy Charanada Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Natkoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Vrindavan Dhama Ki Maipur Navadvip Dhama Ki Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Gangamai Jamunamai Ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Gaura Premanande All glories to these humble devotees, all glories to these humble devotees, all glories to these humble devotees, all glories to Shri Guru Shri Guru Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vidura approaches Maitreya, chapter 4, third canto, text number 12, Srimad Bhagavatam. Saesha Sado Charamo Bhavanam Asaditaste mad anugrahoyat. Yanmam nrilokan raha utsrijantam. Dishya dadrisvan visadanu. Sa esha sado charamo bhavanam. Asaditaste madanugrahoyat. Yanmam nirilokan raha utsrijantam. Distya dadrishvan visadanu. Saha, that. Eshaha, of those. Sado, O honest one. Charamaha, the ultimate. Bhavanam, of all your incarnations. As Vasu. Asaditaha, now achieved. Te, unto you. Mat, my. Anugraha, mercy. Yat, as it is. Yat, because. Mam, may. Nrilokan, the planets of the conditioned souls. Raha, in seclusion. Itsrijantam, while quitting. Distya, by seeing. Dadrishvan, what you have seen. Visada anuvritya, by unflinching devotion. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O honest one, your present life is the last and the supermost, because in this term of life you have been awarded my ultimate favor. Now you can go to my transcendental abode, Vaikuntha, by leaving this universe of conditioned living entities. Your visit to me in this lonely place, because of your pure and unflinching devotional service, is a great boon for you. Please repeat. O honest one, your present life is the last and the supermost, because in this term of life you have been awarded my ultimate favor. Now you can go to my transcendental abode, Vaikuntha, by leaving this universe of conditioned living entities. Your visit to me in this lonely place, because of your pure and unflinching devotional service, is a great boon for you. Purport. When a person is fully conversant with knowledge of the Lord, as far as can be known by a perfect living entity in the liberated state, he is allowed to enter into the spiritual sky where the Vaikuntha planets exist. The Lord was sitting in a lonely place, just about to disappear from the vision of the inhabitants of this universe, and Uddhava was fortunate enough to see him even at that time, and thus receive the Lord's permission to enter Vaikuntha. The Lord is everywhere at all times, and his appearance and disappearance are merely the experience of the inhabitants of a particular universe. He's just like the sun. The sun does not appear or disappear in the sky. It is only in the experience of men that in the morning the sun rises, and in the evening the sun sets. The Lord is simultaneously both in Vaikuntha and everywhere within and without Vaikuntha. Krishna's talking to Uddhava. Now, I'm going to go on to the next verse as well, because that sort of wraps up almost this section. And there's one last... Yeah, that's the end of the section. Krishna talking to Uddhava, and then Uddhava starts speaking again. Here we have wonderful interactions between the servitor and the Supreme. Relationships. Uddhava is one of the dearest servants to Krishna. Krishna spoke early on in this Srimad Bhagavatam that there's no one more dear to me than you. Not even Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi. Because you are beyond the modes of material nature. You're as good as me. To come to the level of Brahman. That verse, Mam chayovya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Brahma bhuyaya, Brahma bhuta, Brahma bhutva. It's considered to be the devotee, the Vaishnava's rendition of liberation. Liberation is also considered by the impersonalist to be just moksha. Moksha, freedom from material entanglement. Moksha. I'm cut free. I'm not bound up anymore. But so what? Where are you? I'm just in the void. I'm not tied up. So Brahma Bhuta, to attain the level of Brahman, to attain the understanding of spirit soul. Brahman means spirit. Aham Brahmasmi, I'm spirit soul. So to understand that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, is very elevated transcendental knowledge. It's enough to achieve the ability to connect with that Brahman. If you want to serve Brahman, if you want to serve spirit, you have to attain to that same nature. It's incompatible. Oil and water don't mix. They separate. You have got to work really hard to get them to emulsify. So to be in a natural state of having the same situation, the same platform as the Supreme, then that requires this level of liberation. Not just impersonal liberation, but a personal understanding of I'm a person, I'm a servant, and here is the object of my servitude, Krishna. This is very high, very profound knowledge. The contrary understanding is aham mameti. I am matter. And matter is my goal, and to manipulate matter and to deal with matter. Matter is frustrating. Anybody who's tried to lord it over, to control, to enjoy matter, squeezing, rubbing, trying to get some enjoyment out of matter. Ultimately, there's a law of diminishing return. You take some pleasurable substance, and it's wonderful for the first couple of bites. After a while, it becomes ho-hum, and then when you've completely exhausted, it becomes distasteful. I'll never do that again. So Uddhava is such a topmost devotee who is very dear to the Lord. He understands. He's beyond the modes of material nature. Uddhava was practically night and day, like Arjuna. Arjuna, when he was with Krishna and Krishna revealed his universal form, Arjuna suddenly became alarmed. I've been taking you for granted. We've been sharing the same bed. We're sitting together. We're just exchanging so many nice. But I didn't realize that you were that you were the Supreme. And now, in this state, putting aside, he became overwhelmed by awe and wonder, and He wanted to become, again, properly situated and take advantage of such his great friend, his elevated well-wisher. He inquired from him. Arjuna, he then inquired from him. Uddhava, serving always with Krishna, very dear, he meets and he realizes that Krishna is about to depart, so he inquires, can I go to Vaikuntha? Can I leave this place of conditioned living entities? And Krishna, he instructs how. Sure you can. It's a great boon to you that you've come and met me in this lonely place. So just when I'm about to, it's very auspicious. It doesn't happen by mistake. There's a scripture, Sanatana Goswami revealed the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the background of that presentation of Krishna consciousness is that Maharaj Parikshit, he's about to depart. So his mother, loving affection, my son, you're going. I'm not lamenting that you're going because I know you're going to a better place. There's no way that you will still remain attached to your body. You've heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. But what about me? Please, just repeat what you've just heard from Sukadeva Goswami. Make it in. So a couple of seconds before he's about to be bitten, then Maharaj Parikshit presents the Brihad Bhagavatamrita in a digestible form, so that his mother can hear the same presentation, which enabled her son to become perfectly situated in his relationship with Krishna, liberated. Impersonalist, I'm not this, I'm free, I'm neti, I'm not any of these things, that's their process, I'm not, but what are you? In that not, or it gets to the point of the void. I'm nothing. But that's suicide, spiritual suicide, for anybody who has some higher sentiment, finer brain substance, who's been purified, who actually understands that the goal of life is to engage in relationship, not to just merge into the void. The final sentence of the previous purport was, it appears that when the Lord informed him by his indication to Uddhava, the great sage Maitreya finally became aware of the importance of entering into the association of the Lord. Very learned, highly elevated Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Maitreya, but he hadn't achieved that secret, that sweet realization of the topmost goal of life, to develop a loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uddhava, I'm not sure the time when it happened. Uddhava heard from Krishna. It's recorded in the 11th canto, practically the whole of the 11th canto, except for the first 4 chapters at the beginning about Krishna's departure, and the last 2 chapters. The whole of the 11th canto is Krishna describing, presenting to Uddhava the process of devotional service. We get a lot of our information about deity worship from chapter 27 of the 11th canto, the process of deity worship. In the previous age, deity worship was the process for achieving the perfection of life, the ultimate goal of life, self-realization. Opulent deity worship. In this age, it's Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gati Anyata. It's the sweetest presented by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Uddariya. The sweetest way of approaching Krishna, just by calling his name, calling on your beloved, calling their name. To go into elaborate details with the deity worship, to sit in meditation, sacrifice. Meditation was the process for Satya Yuga. Sacrifice, the process for Treta Yuga. Dwapara Yuga is deity worship. Kali Yuga, Harinam Sankirtan. So Krishna instructs Uddhava. He gives him all of these detailed information so that he can prepare himself to go back to the spiritual world. That's what we're also engaged in, hearing about the process. Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojana. Lord Chaitanya, he gave in a very condensed, encapsulated form, Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojana, the three great treasures of the Vedic literature, the Vedic process. How to understand who we are, the field of knowledge, where we're situated, the process, the abhidaya, the activities, the process of connecting our tiny existence with the Supreme, and the ultimate goal, prayojana, what we should expect, what are the fruits, what can we... Fruits. We're looking for fruits. We shouldn't avoid the fruits. It's fruitive activity. Fruitive activities means but that's our goal. We're going to accumulate as many results as possible, and then we're going to hoard them and enjoy them for ourselves. No, we shouldn't deny that we will achieve some results. We should see what they are. We should appreciate them. We should take advantage of them. We should realize how much is available, how much can be used in Krishna's service. Sometimes we lament that there's so much opulence, there's so much flowers, and they're going to rot. They're not being properly... Well, whatever capacity we've got, we utilize what we can use in Krishna's service. That's yukta vairagya. So the fruits, to understand what is the result of our application, the prayojana, the love of God, the appreciation for other devotees, the appreciation for service, that becomes more and more intimate. So in this relationship between Uddhava and Krishna, Uddhava was acting most of his time on this planet with Krishna as his advisor. He would apply his intelligence. He could understand the situation. Krishna, Maharaj Yudhisthira, he was the rightful heir to the throne, to be the emperor of the whole planet, and he he wanted to consult with Krishna what to do. Now they're not giving me the kingdom, where we can't do our service. We're robbed of our birthright. What should we do? So Krishna asked Uddhava. Uddhava was his advisor. Krishna wouldn't do anything without Uddhava advising him. So Uddhava described that Maharaj Yudhisthira was proposing we should do the Rajasuya sacrifice, and at the same time we've got enemies. The younger kings, Maharaj Yudhisthira, okay, you want to do the Rajasuya sacrifice. So what should we do? Uddhava said, well, in order to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice, you have to establish sovereignty over all the kings. So the kings who are opposing you, like Jarasandha, then you have to, anyway, in the process of preparing for the Rajasuya, you have to go and defeat him. So it's two birds killed with one stone. It's achievable. go to Jarasandha. You'll never be able to defeat him in single combat or in amassing an army. He just gets another army together. He fought with Krishna 17 times. Krishna decimated, killed all of his soldiers, and he went away and just amassed another army. So the best way to achieve your result, your goal, the action you should perform, sorry, what are those three processes? Abhidaya, first one. First one? Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana. So in order to, this is the field, the Sambandha, there's opposition. It's worthwhile rising up against that opposition. Sometimes there's opposition, you want to back off. You want to let them stew in their own juices, and eventually when they're out of the way, then you can move forward. Here we're going to step up, we're going to challenge our opposition. This is the activity we're going to perform. And the goal is that we will be able to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. So the strategy, the technique that you should use is that you should disguise yourself, Bhima, Arjuna and Krishna, disguise yourself as brahmanas and go and beg in charity. Jarasandha was famous for one who gives charity. So beg for charity. And so they went there and he greeted them, normal Vedic hospitality. They were enemies, but still he just accepted them and offered them hospitality. So they said, we've come, we want to beg a fight. We want to fight with you. So Jarasandha was a little bit taken back. He looked them up and down and said, Brahmanas, why should... But actually, you don't look like Brahmanas. You've got that notch on your shoulder where you carry the bow. And so, okay, actually, I recognize here is Bhimsen. Arjuna, he's a weakling. I shouldn't even bother him. Bhima, he has strength which will match mine. So I accept the challenge. I'll fight with Bhima. So the battle, single-handed competition, continued for many days. They were equally matched. The strength of 10,000 elephants each. 10,000 elephants. One elephant's got a lot of strength. 10,000 elephants. If you let an elephant go in your garden, it'll just smash everything. You get a couple of bullocks in your garden, they'll chew up everything. So an elephant, you're going to rip up that fragile bhakti creeper. So 10,000 elephants. 10,000 elephants. They were smashing, and at the end of the day, they would sit down together and have a meal and discuss the days of events, glorify each other. After a while, he realized that he couldn't do it without Krishna's help. So Krishna, he indicated to Bhima that the way to have success is to rip him to pieces, pull him apart. Jarasandha, he was put together by the witch Jara. When he was born, he appeared in two halves. Sometimes you get embryos that are not completely separated, and you get twins who are attached. They're attached at the shoulder or attached at the neck, and they do some surgical operation. They only share one heart, things like that. So Jarasandha was in two parts, and the witch Jarasandha put those two parts together. And so the way to kill him was to separate those two parts. So Bhima fought with him when he was in an advantageous position. He just stepped on one leg and took the other leg and just ripped him in half. And that was the end of Jarasandha. So then the sacrifice could go on. So Uddhava was the one who gave this advice. Because Uddhava is so intimately connected with Krishna, then he was able to give that advice, to use his intelligence, and then also to take advantage of Krishna's association, to ask him for the topmost knowledge, the topmost understanding, the topmost destination. Please give me those things. Don't just beat around the bush. Don't just pacify me with technical knowledge. Don't just give me the standard process. I want to know the essence, the sharanam. All the sages were there on the field of Namasharanya performing a sacrifice. So Maharaj Parikshit Hang on, I'm not sure whether he was there yet. But the question was, from the sages to the head of the sage, please, there's so much information, there's so much out there. It's a difficult time. Please boil it all down. Give us the essence of the truth. Sharanam. So Uddhava not only achieved liberation, and first line of the purport says that so as far as can be known in a liberated state, as far as can be known, not that you can be aware of everything, but in the liberated state, your knowledge is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. So therefore it's pure knowledge. And you can understand Krishna, you can understand your relationship with Krishna, and from there you can spring into the spiritual world, go to Vaikuntha. So the impersonalist, he understands that spiritual energy is everywhere, Krishna is everywhere, that it's all spirit, but beyond spirit. Krishna is, he says, I'm the source of all material and spiritual worlds. I'm the source. But so it means he's beyond. At the time of Uddhava hankering for Krishna's association, Krishna was about to depart. Uddhava he was sent by Krishna to Badrik Ashram to meet Narayana and all of those devotees there. And he was a sandishta. He was carrying a message from Krishna beyond what Krishna presented, more intimate, more detailed to describe the Bhagavatam. So the next verse speaks about the Bhagavatam, the essence of that information, the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic wisdom, the ripened fruit, the cream of the cream. Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're hearing that and we're trying to distill. If you want to get some fragrant oils, you want to make some rose oil, then to get a little bottle of oil, you need boxes and boxes, kilograms of rose petals. You have to distill, you have to concentrate, you have to take out the essence, and then that becomes another way of storing that nectar. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, these discussions between Uddhava and Krishna, they are condensed nectar, and they need to be approached and handled with care, delicately unwrapped, opened up, shared in the association of like-minded souls, not distorted, not derailed. And through that process, then one can also develop a loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's said that there are two types of lovers of Krishna. There are those who are in the Madhurya Ras, the conjugal relationship, the gopis. They have that mood of being a lover of Krishna. The other type of lover is those who hear about. Not that we are just going to dabble and to pretend, but hearing means really understanding, appreciating. Hearing, it's not just, there's different aspects of hearing. There's listening, and then there's comprehension, and then there's action. Vedic education goes through a process of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Shravanam, hearing; Mananam, contemplating; Nididhyasanam, putting into practice, understanding, living it. So that's the process of hearing. And then in order to check that what we've been hearing is, or what we've understood, what we've interpreted, what we've heard is correct, then we should inquire. We should inquire. questions and answers. So, does anybody have any questions or any comments at this point? Julian.
You spoke many things about Uddhava, like he's very connected to Krishna and he's being intelligent and giving advice. And what quality of Uddhava do you think that made him topmost devotee of Krishna?
Yeah, there was a series of seminars given by Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu, and he asked his students same question. So, what is the process that, or what was the secret? How did Uddhava become so qualified? And his answer was by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. He had studied Srimad Bhagavatam. He had become a good student of Srimad Bhagavatam. Uddhava was a disciple of Brihaspati, the sage amongst the demigods. So he'd been versed in transcendental knowledge. To then develop that to the stage of the association of Supreme Personality of God, the Srimad Bhagavatam was his chosen study. So he studied the Srimad Bhagavatam and he developed the qualities described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, previously he was the Vasu who had desired to have Krishna association. Krishna fulfilled that desire, gave him the process, the abhidaya, which to cement that desire, to make it more tangible. And then these are the fruits we see that he had that relationship with Krishna.
Thank you very much. It's really encouraging to read more. Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam should be our daily practice, our life and soul. Life and soul.
I was just reflecting on the translation. It says that the supermost, because in this term of life you have been awarded my ultimate favor, now you can go to my transcendental abode. And I didn't really think about it before, but I was thinking that Krishna is telling Uddhava, in this term of life you have been awarded my ultimate favor, and he goes back to the spiritual world. And in Brihad Bhagavatamrita we hear that even Gopakumar, he attained Goloka Vrindavan, but still he chose to come back to the material world for service. So, where they say Nitya Bada, eternally liberated, and eternal, like Nitya Bada and Nitya Siddha. Yeah, so Nitya Siddha is always liberated and Nitya Bada is bound. But it was interesting to see that even when one goes back to the spiritual world, just like Srila Prabhupada, it doesn't mean that they don't come back. They do come back for service. So I found that I didn't really reflect on it before, but yeah, it was interesting to read that. So yeah, thank you. As you said, that keep churning and then keep going, and you start thinking a bit more.
Vaikuntha, the place of no anxiety, the place of no misery. So to be situated on that platform. And Vrindavan is also a state of consciousness. Vrindavan is wherever Krishna is. Prabhupada, he left Vrindavan, he preached all over the world, and he was always in Vrindavan. So to achieve that favor, to be Maya is Krishna's energy, and her business is to serve, to check if we're really serious. And at a certain stage, Krishna can direct and say, leave this one alone, they're mine. So we become free from the impediment of the material energy. Krishna he's the master of the material energy. So that's what we're looking for. Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya dharataya mama eviye prapajanta. Very difficult to overcome, but one who surrenders unto me, easily attain. So that's surrender. And then Lord Ram, he tells his servitor that for one who says to me, that for so long I've forgotten you, and now I'm returning as your servant, I'm remembering you. So Lord Ram, he promises in reciprocation, that if somebody says like that, then I will give them the courage to live by that. You can get that realization, but then you have to continue to follow, to stay on that platform. So that requires courage. It requires, again, support. We can't do anything on our own. And for one who has achieved such a state, for one who has achieved Krishna's favour, then whatever Krishna wants, he'll do. Come back again and preach. And you've got that state. You've got Nitya Siddha. Still, there's tests. There's all sorts of. It's not going to be a neutral state. It'll be an active state, constantly diving deeper and deeper into that mood of surrender.
Hare Krishna. So we're just touching on how what made Uddhava who he was, and that was through reading and understanding and living the Srimad Bhagavatam. The other day I was listening to a class by Swayam Bhagavan Maharaj, and he was talking about the transcendental books that we study, that we read, and how they're not linear. They spiral. So there's you go to the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the CC, and you get to the end, and you start and you go around again and again and again and again. It just keeps increasing, and your knowledge deepens on all of these texts each time you come to it. Could you just explain a bit of the process of what's happening within the individual? Each time they're going around reading these books, they might read it one time, then they read it the second time, and the third time they're understanding more, they're understanding themselves more. What's happening to the individual?
That analysis of the spiral, I've heard that applied also to the process which Rupa Goswami outlines from Shraddha to Prem. First we have some faith, we invest that faith, Shraddha, Ado Shraddha, Tata Sango, then we desire to take up the association of devotees. Then Bhajana Kriya, we engage in the process, the authorized process of devotional service. Anatta Nivritti, then we start to realize we've got unwanted things, and we can remove those things from the heart by purification. Then Nishta, then Ruchi, then Asakti, and then Bhava, and then Prem. So in all the different processes, all the different activities we're going through, we get different realizations at different levels. We might be a perfectly Prema Bhakti in dealing with other devotees, but we're a neophyte when it comes to controlling our senses. So there's two types. There's Acha and Pracha. There's the awareness, and there's the activity. Some people, they behave very well, but they don't preach. And some people preach like anything, despite the fact that their behavior, their qualities are not there. The best devotee, Haridas Thakur, he did both simultaneously. So we apply ourselves, and we act in different ways, and we get realizations of different levels. And as we keep on studying and keep on applying those things, then the fruits will come, and we'll add them again to the field. Our awareness of Krishna, devotees, service to Krishna, that changes, it shifts. And why is prasadam so attractive? It's more attractive when the consciousness is right, when Krishna is pleased by the love and the devotion that goes into it. So that's the most important element, not just the getting the good ingredients and being pucker and being clean and being on time. Those things, then the love, doing that out of love. Often when it's a Kodasi, then the devotees are in more anxiety, how to prepare satisfying foodstuff. So they put more of their self in there. They're really in anxiety. And Radharani, when she cooks for Krishna, Krishna likes it the best when she's angry. She's putting that mood, she wants, so that taste comes out. So there's different, what pleases Krishna, how to please Krishna, how to avoid the anarthas, how to step aside the obstacles, the things that are holding us back. So it's a process, and through studying and hearing from the sages, hearing from the advanced souls, hearing from those who have achieved advancement on the path, then we can try and follow in their footsteps. We can try and emulate them. We can try and take on their qualities, take on their perception, that they read and hear what they think, and then appreciate that, and then hopefully that will unlock within our own hearts a deeper level of understanding. We'll also be able to communicate with Krishna. Our japa, we were in Coimbatore, South India. It was the month of Kartik. We were there with Shivaram Maharaj, Niranjan Swami, Badri Narayan Swami, Chandramauli Swami, and we were observing the Dhammadarastikam. And when Shivaram Maharaj Swami or others were leading the prayers, Radha Damodar is his personal worshipful deity, the deities of Swarup Damodar, the personal secretary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shivaram Maharaj worships those deities. So when he's offering those prayers, he's talking, he's singing, he's directly addressing his worshipful Lord Damodar. So it just takes on a different level. When Prabhupada says you're not the body, it impacts you. Your level of realization, your level of adherence to that. It's not just theory; it becomes realized knowledge. So that deepening, that spiraling and becoming more and more condensed, finding the essence through different elements, and then they add all up, they come together. It's said that the 9 processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, you can become perfect just by, or you can achieve the goal of life just by becoming perfect in one of those processes, or all 9. But the main one is the Shravanam, hearing. And hearing is dependent upon that not just ardent desire, but intense and appreciation. Why should I worship Srimad Bhagavatam? Why should I get involved in things? Because I realize how significant they are. So I'll switch off everything else. I'll just focus and I'll hear with really intense, acute attention. And that requires purification, like practicing yoga. You can't sit in yoga postures if you're starting to get all niggly because there's some pressure and it hurts. So you've got to become settled so you can just, within your body, within your heart, within your mind, freed from the impediments, and then you can just focus on hearing and achieve that remembrance and samadhi. Now, for us, it's work now, samadhi later. We can get a glimpse of it. That's what we keep on inspiring us to keep on working so hard. So we keep on working, keep on purifying. What's the result? What's the fruit? What's the fruit that I'm going to get from this activity? I'll become purified. That attachment will disappear. Those desires which I have, Krishna will fulfill them beyond my wildest imagination. But I can't fulfill them myself. I've tried. I'm frustrated from trying to enjoy in the material world, separate from Krishna. So just include Krishna and please Krishna, and then those fruits will manifest. Okay. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.